This pandemic is exactly what you and I needed. There are times in life where we need to shut down, shut off, shut in, shut out. 2020 created that for so many of us.
Hi guys, my name is Mariah, and today I want to say a very, very, very special thank you to all of our healthcare workers, security workers, and volunteer workers. Thank you very much. Bye!
It's time to exhale and be motivated. Annie's Blue Couch. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, to all of you, Annie's crew. Welcome back to the Blue, Annie's Blue Couch. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me today. Now, before we get into today's conversation, I want to remind you, please like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and as always, please do me a huge favor and share this video with at least 2 of your friends. There's been a lot of mixed emotions surrounding COVID-19 and this pandemic we are all facing right now. All of us have had to make a ton of adjustments. Some have been for the better, but others have been quite strenuous. You know, when 2020 first began, everyone's catchphrase had to do with vision. 2020 vision. No one knew we were in for a pandemic. With expectancy, we were all awaiting a year of better, a year of clarity and of visions and dreams coming to pass. I remember I started 2020 in Italy, and I was ending a month-long tour with an amazing group of singers and musicians. During that tour, I had so many soul-searching conversations and really decided that the word for 2020 was going to be intentional. I remember last year, in 2019, it began with me really appreciating and understanding the word capacity. Every time someone hurt me in 2019, I would say, Anissa, don't take it personal. There's a capacity issue there. And I learned even my own capacity. And I did things in 2019 I didn't think I ever would or could do for that matter. I stretched my thinking and understanding. And when 2020 came around, I was ready for a year of being intentional. Then this pandemic hit. And we were stuck in our houses. So many people lost their jobs, businesses shut down, everything just went kind of crazy. There was a huge shift. We went from 2020 is the year of vision to somebody, please cancel 2020. Send 2020 back to wherever it came from because we don't want any parts of it. And a host of other horrible things were said about 2020. And some of those things came from my lips as well. But I've come to truly appreciate this year. I understand that even though it didn't come the way I expected it to, but this year has been a year of vision and clarity. Yes, there have been horrible things that happened. People lost loved ones, some multiple loved ones within the span of just a few weeks or days. Unemployment devastated the lives of many in our nation. Temporary closings turned into permanent closings. Children couldn't go to school. Churches couldn't open. And essential workers were pushed to their limits. And even now, one side of our country is in flames. There are hurricanes, floods, just all around devastation. And when we see all these things and just experience such unexpected trauma in our lives, it's very easy to say that this is some kind of a curse, or blame other countries for messing up our lives, blame the devil for being a destroyer, or even blame God for seemingly forsaking us. But I have to say, and I really want to encourage you to not think that 2020 is a curse. This year is not being controlled by the devil or any form of evil. And I hope that by the end of this conversation, you will join me and say, thank God for 2020. This pandemic is exactly what you and I needed. There are times in life where we need to shut down, shut off, shut in, shut out. 2020 created that for so many of us. I know our essential workers work tirelessly to facilitate healing and medical care to the hundreds of thousands of sick patients in their facilities. And I take this moment to salute you all. If you are an essential worker and you're watching this video right now, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all that you have done and that you're still doing. Thank you for your dedication, for your commitment to whatever various fields that you're in, to your service to the communities that really needed you the most. Thank you so much. Now, for those who lost loved ones, I cannot even begin to say that I understand what you went through and are still going through. What I can say is that even when we do not understand what He is doing, God remains in control. You might be watching this episode and lost someone during this pandemic. Whether it was related to COVID or not, I know that you are hurting. Just know that I stand with you in prayer, and I pray that you be comforted during this time of grief. No matter the category of catastrophe you might have found yourself in during this pandemic, I want to ask you a question. What is your next step? Whatever impact this pandemic has had on your life, no matter how big or small, what is your next step? I want to give you some tips to help you get through this tough time and not lose yourself or become angry or frustrated with God, or to just throw your hands in the air and say, I quit on life. Listen, this year is not over. And if you are alive and watching this video right now, you are alive for a reason. I want to encourage you and inspire you and motivate you to do something, anything. I know 2020 has been crazy, but don't give up. It's not over. You have work to do, and you cannot quit. Listen, don't give up on God. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your goals and your dreams. Just don't give up. You know, when I hear don't give up on God, I immediately think of don't give up on God, 'cause He won't give up on you. Oh, 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 He's able. God is able to do just what He said He would do. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. So don't give up on God, 'cause He won't give up on you. He's able. Hey! Oh my God, I'm ready to go to church. Somebody get the ushers. Somebody get the organist. I'm ready for church right now. Oh my goodness, that's an awesome song. Listen, don't give up on God. I want to share a few tips with you on getting through this. Tip number 1, be grateful. I know you might have suffered some severe hurt and loss, but you are still here for a reason. Be grateful. Don't allow yourself to stay in a state of sulking over the things you cannot change. Be grateful. Tip number 2, connect as much as you can with friends and family. Restrictions are starting to loosen up a bit, but there's still a lot of restrictions in place and we have to be cautious. But with technology today, we can Zoom, we can Skype, and all sorts of other video chat apps are available to connect with each other. Do not stay in your house moping that you are alone. Make the effort to learn some of the technologies available to help us stay connected with our friends and family. And just make getting connected and being connected a priority. Tip number 3, do something you love to do. Maybe there was something you didn't have much time for before this pandemic when life was so busy, but now you can carve out some time for it. I love to read, and oh my goodness, I have been reading a few books during this pandemic. I have to share them with you. So, when the pandemic first started, there were 2 books that I was reading like literally at the same time. The first one is Surrender, White People by D.L. Hughley and Doug Moe. This book, if you know D.L. Hughley, he's a comedian. So inside there is a ton of comedy. And what the topic that we're talking about, this is a lot about racism and what has happened to my people during this time and even a long time ago when slavery first began. And when all of the Black Lives Matter movement and all that stuff started to come to the surface with the police brutality and just all of that, I felt a little bit in the dark. And I really wanted to put my hands on something that would just give me some more information. This book is amazing. Now be mindful. There is some language that's not too okay. So if you don't want to, read bad language, you may not want to do this one. But honestly, the content is amazing. What he talks about and how he does it with the comedy aspect to it, even though it's not a funny topic, it's an excellent book. The other one that I was reading at the same time is The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein. This book, it just breaks down the fact that segregation still exists. And it is so intentional. It is weaved into our communities. It's weaved into our societies. And there's just so much information in here that was extremely helpful for me. A book that I go to a lot is The 40-Day Soul Fast by Cindy Trim. She's an awesome writer, awesome speaker. And this book is about really kind of detoxing yourself, detoxing your soul, your spirit. When you think about fasting, you think about not eating, but this is a soul fast. So it's like spiritual Drano. It unclogs those areas in your spirit, in your soul that kind of, it just sets you off to a good start. So I love this book, The 40-Day Soul Fast, Your Journey to Authentic Living. And then these 2 books, Jesus Always by Sarah Young and The Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn. These 2 books are devotionals. So it's just like, this one actually goes by the day. It says the exact date, July 18th, August 5th, whatever. It says the exact date on it, and you can turn to that day every day and get a really encouraging word. And The Book of Mysteries is just an amazing book. I do these 2 with my children in the morning, and if we're running super late, then we come back and we do the devotions at night. So these are really great books that I've been getting into during this pandemic. I am going to leave in the description box down below the links if you're interested in getting into any of these books. Now, the links are affiliate links, so it does help support the channel, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. And I'm actually also, right now, as we talk about things that we love to do, I'm also working on some new music, and I can't wait to share it with you. I'll probably do an Annie's Crew exclusive listening session before I even release it to everyone else. So stay tuned for that. But the point is, just spend some time doing something you love. It may not be reading, it may not be singing, but whatever it is that you love, get into it during this pandemic. Now, tip number 4, find ways to help someone else. In my refocus video a few weeks back, I talked about spending time with you and really getting to know you and coming to grips with all of who you are. And all that's great and necessary, but don't forget about others. When we focus too much on ourselves, we lose perspective. Sometimes you think that your situation is so horrible until you hear someone else's story. So find a way to give someone else a helping hand. And don't tell yourself that life is too hard or too bad so you can't help anybody else. Helping others will help you. Just try it. For me, I've always wanted to help others by inspiring them to be great. So I started Annie's Blue Couch during the pandemic. You can start your own YouTube channel too. Or you can start a blog or a podcast or whatever. Find a food pantry to help. Maybe there's a community team or church team that you can join to help others during this time. This sweatshirt that I'm wearing today is from one of my good friends, Christian Belton, who started the I See You Vision Foundation. I'm going to leave a link to all the details for that foundation in the description box below. It's an organization that provides financial assistance to children and adults who need prescription glasses or contacts. She actually helps to pay for the exam if you don't have vision coverage. So when you purchase one of these sweatshirts, and she also has some other items as well, you're helping someone else. I just love this sweater. It's beautifully made, the quality is great, and it's super cute. Doesn't she look just like me? Listen, there's so many other programs and companies out there doing wonderful things for other people. And you can just join the bandwagon and help someone else through companies like ICU Vision Foundation. Helping someone else during this pandemic is going to help you put things in perspective. So find ways to help. Find someone to help. Now, tip number 5. Commit to getting at least one goal accomplished. I know at the beginning of the year, you set some New Year's resolutions. We all did. Some may be difficult to get done, but not all. Think about all you wanted to do this year. And instead of being angry that this year wasn't as you planned, pick one of those things on your list and focus on getting it done in spite of this crazy pandemic. So let's go over these 5 quick tips once again. Tip number 1, be grateful. Tip number 2, connect with friends and family. Make that a priority. Tip number 3, do something you love to do. Tip number 4, find ways to help somebody else. Tip number 5, commit to getting at least one goal accomplished. And that's it. Thanks so much for sticking with me today. If you've made it to this point in the video, don't forget to leave me a comment to let me know that you were here. And I need you to do me a favor. Take a look at the subscribe button down below. Is it red? Because if it's red, that means you are not subscribed to Annie's Blue Couch. And I want you to be a subscriber to Annie's Blue Couch. I want you to join Annie's crew. So hit that red subscribe button for me and turn it gray. And then share this video with someone who you think may need a little bit of encouragement to get through this pandemic. Until next time, remember, you are beautiful, you are special, your smile is amazing. And don't let anyone or anything ever make you feel less than who and what God has designed you to be. Annie's crew, even in this crazy pandemic, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Bye for now.
Annie's Blue Couch.